You know, the enemy's always been terrified of noise, especially shotguns. With this big boy spitting out 250 rounds a minute, you tell me who's tolerating that. Absolutely zero.
Hey, this is Butch here with Ed. We're going to be watching some shotgun scenes from different movies and judging them with the utmost scrutiny.
A lot of stuff that Arnold's doing with his little Winchester 1887 kind of thing. Flip cocking, I guess it's possible. One-handed on a motorcycle because he's a Terminator.
Sure. We've seen people do it. They haven't been on a motorcycle while doing it, but it'll work, I guess. Not very realistic, but it is the Terminator, so...
Oh, look at that one-handed reload.
Stop with the spaz. He already stabbed her in the shoulder, so she can't do it anymore.
Right. So she's basically just bracing that against her body.
And now she's out of ammo because shotguns are hungry beasts, and if you're not shooting, you should be loading.
So that seems like a theme. We had two different kind of reload scenes with shotguns. Arnold didn't run out of ammo in his 1887, which holds 6,
5, 6, I don't know.
And then, Sarah Connor, obviously, she's shot the requisite number of times and was able to run out appropriately. Good job with the one-handed reloads, though.
It's interesting, this cocking the shotgun with one hand. It can be done, and Sarah Connor is a beast, so I'll be all right with it.
So it's clearly, a desperation kind of thing. And like you said, shotguns are very hungry beasts. So when you're not shooting, you're loading. So
you should be. Otherwise, you're going to be running out real quick. One round out of a shotgun, and you've lost a pretty significant percentage of the amount of ammo you got in there.
Right. Terminator 2, Judgment Day for realism?
Judging on a sliding scale because it is the 90s movies, and... it was my era. I loved it. Are we going out of a scale of 1 to 10 here?
Yeah, I'll say 1 to 10.
I'll go 7.
All right. I was going to give it an 8 just because I love Terminator, and the Sarah Connor reloads were very realistic. The Arthur one, well, he's a sci-fi robot from the future, so I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Rundown. Have you seen this?
I have. There's a lot of creative ways to cock the shotgun.
I was going to say, this is probably, I think, the most hands down, over the top, single shotgun scene, you might see in movies.
As far as over the top unrealistic?
There's a lot of shotgun stuff going on here, which doesn't happen very often, but let's take a look.
Getting in the zone. No trigger discipline. It's a guaranteed fact that you actually shoot better if you have a mean look on your face.
Is it?
Yep.
Some very creative reloading going on here.
Extremely. We're about to see the flip under our arms.
The armpit reload.
There we go. Yep. There we go. That's my favorite one.
Double armpit reload.
Never mind the fact that spinning the shotgun back out with your finger in the trigger is just going to set the shotgun off.
Yep.
The double. I kind of dig that one. I want to try it.
Like 2 shotguns.
2 shotguns, shouldered,
racking them both at the same time.
and you have to do the no look at the explosion.
Walk away from the
I
explosion.
mean, he falls down, but I mean, The Rock, he's not gonna fall down. Come on.
Right. So let's go back a little bit and see how many types of reloads. Shoot once, shoot twice.
There's one.
There's one in the crook
in
of
the
your
crook of his
elbow.
arm, one off the pallet. Then there's under the armpit here.
Double under the armpit.
Using the foot.
Whoa! Did he reload with his foot?
He cocked it with his foot. And the 2-hand.
Okay. So he's using what? Remington 870s?
I think so.
Because every movie during that era used
It's a really good shotgun.
used a Remington 870. So cocking a shotgun. You have a lot of experience with pump shotguns, so I would, ask are those even possible? Like, how much effort would it take in order to cock a shotgun, rack it without short stroking it?
Without short stroking, it makes it difficult. Somebody like him, he's got a big arm to be cocking it in the crook of his arm, so maybe he can make that work. The one where he's cocking it off of his foot, racking the action off of his foot, that one's going to be proven to be really difficult. I don't see that one happening. I don't see that one being realistic.
So in that scene, I don't even know. So I get that he can kick his foot out in order to, rack it out, but what did he do in order to bring it?
It wasn't in the scene there. Maybe he brought it up with his foot and then kicked it back down.
Gotcha.
Getting that friction, especially on the old school wood stock, I don't know if you're going to have a lot of friction there. The biggest problem I have with it is, while I love the under the armpit double rack, he didn't work his safety in the whole scene, not once. And when he comes back out, he's just going to shoot the guns into the ground. Maybe even shoot his legs off. I don't know.
Fingers are in the trigger guard,
the whole time.
and he's flipping it off of that.
But that's pretty normal for Hollywood, so we kind of give him a little bit of a pass.
Okay. So the shotgun reloading might be possible.
I would say a lot of them are possible, very theatrical, not necessarily safe. A lot of ending up, possibly pointing the gun at ourselves, but definitely pointing it at other people that we don't want to point it at.
Right.
And also not really necessary.
Well, I don't know. For a movie, it might be very necessary,
I mean, it's not Arnold. It's just The Rock.
I'm actually surprised that we didn't see a double,
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that. We've seen that in other ones, but not in that one, yeah.
All right. So, rundown out of 10, what do you think?
I personally have a hard time getting over the lack of using the safety.
Okay.
And that drops it down to a 4.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe a 5 or 6 just because it is all realistic, but the lack of safety and the lack of trigger and muzzle discipline, in my head, just cannot give
have
him
a big
higher
problem
than
with
that.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Boom! Shakalaka turner!
What do we have next? Looks like Terminalist. Do you see this?
I love this one.
Okay. I liked it because it was super realistic, and you and I both run a Beretta 1301.
Love that shotgun.
And this, it does quite a bit of work in this scene. So let's take a look at it.
This is one of my favorite parts about this scene. Because when they come out of this door, they come out pretty good.
Yep.
But shotguns only have just so much in there, and once he runs out, he's kind of out there in the middle.
Yep.
And he takes a hit because of it. I'm not saying he was wrong for being out there. He's out supporting his partner, but it is.
He's not loading from cover.
It's a sacrifice he had to make, and then it just pisses him off. So he loads up and lets loose on the guy that gets after him.
Right. Was it really necessary to unload 4 or 5 rounds of buckshot into him?
Absolutely. Somebody shot, and it's also necessary to swear at him.
Fuck you!
Can you go back to him unloading on that guy?
Sure can. All right, let's go back.
So pause right there. Now, I call a little bit of BS on the movie industry. I think they could have done a little bit better.
Okay.
If you watch, when he comes up over this wall and lights the guy up with those 4 rounds, the action doesn't move at all.
Yeah.
Fuck you!
That charging handle
right.
doesn't
That charging
cycle
handle
once.
is not moving. How many times would you have had to see that in order to notice?
He's got to reload. So
Yep.
he calls out to his partner,
Reloading.
covering, right? Asks him how long. Doesn't take him very long because he's doing good technique. He's double loading right off of his belt. It's real good. He also keeps his head up the whole time.
I was going to say, he had to have practiced. He's not even looking.
No.
So.
Now when they come into this next room and he has a hostage to take, a hostage situation,
Yep.
he's got to do the slug select. So he's got to get that buckshot round out of the chamber and get a slug in so that he can have accountability with his round.
Right.
One of the nice things about the Beretta, he can just rack it once, it kicks that out, he slaps the slug in there, his partner's ready, lights out.
All right, so slug select, not a common occurrence, but obviously in this situation, what is that exactly? Like you talked on it a little bit, but
Slug select is when you need a different round in the chamber, either for distance or for precision. Generally, you've got some kind of high quality buckshot round,
what they
but
were
it's
using
gonna
before.
it's gonna have some kind of a spread. So if
Okay.
you have to take a high precision shot, or perhaps you need to get out a little bit further distance, you want to get a slug in there of just having one projectile, because it all comes down to shot accountability. We got to be responsible for the rounds coming out.
Right.
So open up the action, whether it's with the pump or with the semi, with the Beretta that he's using there. Just pull back on the charging handle. It kicks the round out of the chamber. You lose that round, but it's all right. You can take your slug, put it right into the chamber, send the charging handle back forward. Boom. Now you got a slug. You got a good, precise shot. He's able to take the shot on the hostage taker
Yep.
like a boss and saves the day, goes home with the girl, all that good stuff.
So suffice to say, high marks on this one. Right?
I like this one a lot. This is, I think, probably my favorite shotgun scene in a movie that we're going to go over today.
Okay.
I give this one high praise. I also very much like the show.
Yep.
But as far as the work of the shotgun itself, I think it shows a lot of really good things that you need to be aware of running a shotgun. The only thing that I didn't see him do, but it may just be because it's shot in kind of a dark, hazy area. I don't see how much he's working his safety,
Right.
which is important to me. If you're not engaging, your safety should be on. But since I didn't see whether he was putting it on or not, we'll just call it good.
Right.
Everything else gets real high remarks from me. I give this one, as far as movies go or TV shows, I'm going to give it like a 9.5 out of 10.
I was gonna say this is gonna be up there. I don't have a whole lot to complain about, and Chris Pratt and Jack Carr, right? Based upon the books
Based
and
on
stuff.
Jack Carr, phenomenal books.
That they had technical advisors and people like helping them like train and work
100%.
through it. So
Yep.
So Terminal List, great shotgun scene, easily a 9.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this when we're talking shotguns, but Jack Carr was in the show.
Oh yeah, he was one of the bad guys.
He's one of the bad guys, gets shot up in the car by
Yep,
Chris Pratt.
I remember.
Yeah.
We'll see if they let us put that in. Next up, John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Armor improvements. 12-gauge steel slugs. Armor piercing.
They're shooting slugs, so
Slugs because they got the armor piece. So he sweeps right past his partner there. Not the best muzzle discipline. But I do really like this whole scene on both of the guys because it's a pretty good example of how limited capacity the shotgun has.
Absolutely.
And how much work it takes to keep it up and running.
Yep.
Not sure why he shoots that guy in the leg there.
target of opportunity, maybe.
Maybe. But coming up here with John Wick in a second, it shows a real good example of him fighting through, and literally as soon as he's done shooting people,
He's loading.
he's loading,
Yep.
which should be the mentality. Got to fix your glasses. Safety first. Boom, done shooting, immediately goes to reload.
Loading, yep.
Keeps his eyes up, keeps his head up so you can see where people might be coming from. I think right now he supposedly is out. Oh, there we go. Now he's going to have the match saber.
Yep.
Oh, maybe he's got to fight a little bit more.
Wrestling. Goes to secondary because
He's out.
empty. Yep.
Now, match saber,
Finishes in. Yep.
immediately into reloading. Get some cover. That's a phenomenal reload.
I like that.
Straight into the chamber with his emergency reload.
And then just loading that tube up.
Yep.
Double quads, yeah.
Most important thing is to get something in the chamber.
Otherwise, he's not going to be loading
Otherwise,
anything.
you're just standing there with an empty gun.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, a little bit of overkill, you know, but immensely satisfying, I'm sure.
Yes. Some of the theatrics of the movie industry there.
Okay.
I like the fact that they don't show one shot and it just blows the guy completely across the room. But it does kind of lean into the fact that it's a shotgun. So one shot with a shotgun and you're close range, you're putting the guy down.
Well, you're also shooting steel slugs, so you're putting a hole in them that's a good inch and a half across.
I don't know if you're allowed to quote other YouTube people, but Clint Smith is infamous for saying pistols put holes in people, rifles put holes through people, and shotguns with the right load at the right distance will physically remove a chunk of shit from your opponent's body.
If you don't stop imitating me, I'm gonna stab you right in the heart, okay? Pistols put holes in people. Rifles put holes through people. Shotguns at the right range with the right load will physically remove a chunk of shit off your opponent and throw that shit on the floor.
It's pretty true, and this shows it decently enough for Hollywood.
The style of reloading that Wick does, obviously Keanu Reeves, trains a lot with Terran Tactical and stuff, but that's not a style of reloading we usually see in a lot of...
It's kind of a hybrid of keeping it under your arm but still flipping it over to do the violin style load.
Right.
I don't have a problem with it because he does manage to keep his eyes up, keep some good situational awareness the whole time going through it. I like flipping the gun over so that you can see the ejection port, so that you can see the magazine tube that you're trying to get it into. That's very beneficial. I don't necessarily have a problem with that style of load. Obviously, it works well for him. Going back to what we like to say, if you're willing to find what works for you and train it well.
Plus, he's diagnosing on the fly. He recognized the gun had locked open. He got his emergency in there. He loaded the tube up. Like, shotgun is a lot more thinking.
Yeah.
Like a thinking man's kind of gun, than anyone would give it credit for, I think.
I believe so. I believe it's more of a more of a weapon that somebody needs to spend a lot of time with. I tend to very much not agree with the people that want to just give a newbie a shotgun and call it good. There's a lot of work that you have to go through to run a shotgun well. And if people aren't going to spend the time on it, then they may be better off served using something different.
Right. So, again, great shotgun work, great reloading. I'm going to easily give this probably an 8, 9 or so. What do you think?
I'm good with an 8. It's a little bit more Hollywood than the Terminal List.
Okay.
That's why I like that one a little bit better, maybe. But it is good. He does kind of get some demerits for sweeping his muzzle right past his partner's head right at the beginning.
Wait, let's go back to that scene, because I want to see if he loaded it after he swept him, so maybe there wasn't in the... Not that that's an excuse, but...
That's loaded right there. He swept both of them right there. Comes out looking all cool, as he should, and then Ledge pointed at his pelvis, and right up past it. He may not have swept past his head.
Oh, but he racked it right there.
I'll back up. All right.
Why did he rack it if he already had one in the...
He sure did. That was a back up to when they were in the vault. Didn't he already load it once?
That's what I saw too.
All right. Okay,
so tube loading.
Into the tube. Then he racked it. That's got one in the chamber.
Yep.
And then he sweeps past both of them with his finger on the trigger.
Clearly two different scenes between here and here,
because
otherwise he would have kicked out the round that wasn't there. All right, we're being nitty gritty, and stuff, and being gun people, we just notice these things. Butch noticed these things.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I still give it a solid 8 though.
Yep. Let's see, what do we got next on the list? Oh, Expendables. Okay.
This one for me gets a lot of leeway, just considering you're only going to watch Expendables just to watch your favorite action heroes all gang up together. The shotguns do perform better when you have a mean look on it. They're still not going to knock down multiple people with one round, but...
Remember this shit at Christmas!
Obviously not something available to civilians as much as we wish we could have.
Certainly not here.
No.
Other places you can get them, but not here.
And then I think we see him later blowing up buildings and towers. Yep, there we go.
They must have been storing a lot of ordnance in that tower, and that seems like a really poor place to keep it all. It is some pretty impressive Hollywoodness that he's able to be so accurate without, not just without using sights, but without even shouldering the gun.
Well, I was gonna say he's using an automatic shotgun, and he's shooting at hip fire, and I think, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's Terry Crews, that he's bracing against that sling and just tucking it right in against his body and pushing against it.
Still doesn't know where it's aiming, though.
Well, volume of fire, right? So when bad guys start exploding in that direction, and you have a 30-round drum, even if the first couple shots miss, you'll get them with shots 8 through 20-something.
In Hollywood, you will.
In Hollywood, you will.
Butch's official word is...
It's very American. Fire enough bullets and hope to hit the target.
Aim what you're shooting. Don't just point shoot. Not from the hip. Especially shouldering that gun, especially somebody as big as Terry Crews. You get good sights. He would have been devastating. As devastating as he was in the movie, but it would have been realistically devastating if somebody taught him to shoulder it and get good sights. Maybe not blow up an entire sniper tower, apparently full of ordnance, but better. Yeah. What do you give this one?
So for entertainment value, it scores very high with me.
It's not good when he has to caveat right away for entertainment value.
So
the marks are going down.
I can't give this more than a 3 or 4 as far as shotgun handling goes. Well, I also don't have any experience using an AA-12, so I have no idea, but it just doesn't seem like good technique for me.
Yeah, scoring strictly just on shotgun and the use of the shotgun and realistic of the shotgun, I'm giving it a 2.
Okay.
And that's being generous, probably.
All right, let's go into another oldie but goldie. L.A. Confidential. You haven't seen this one, right?
I have not seen this one.
Okay. So I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to go straight into it, and you let me know.
Improving their fighting position. I like it. Barricade. Get some concealment. What did he throw to him there?
I think it was a handgun.
A handgun?
Yeah,
Right.
spare. Ifka 37s, which seems the right time.
They're great guns. I don't quite know why you have to throw yourself onto the ground when you could just lay down. Fingers on the trigger. But this is old school. This is before anybody thought about that at all.
Oh, nice shot.
I like that. Devastating hit, especially at that distance. I also like the fact that even he's now empty, but with the Ithaca, there is no side ejection port. So all of the rounds have to go in through the magazine tube.
Right.
So they got a little bit of realistic there.
And he's reloading for a 90s movie?
Yeah.
You know?
Is that when this is? 90s?
1997, I want to say.
What's the period of this?
Oh, I was going to say like 60s, 70s.
60s, 70s, yeah.
All right, so Russell Crowe doing some work with the...
Russell Crowe doing pretty good. Pretty good. Some good movement. I like seeing getting the gun out of his shoulder. I know I'm talking about getting the gun up into his shoulder when he's shooting, but then getting the gun down out of his shoulder so that he can maneuver it around his body to move through the house, support his partner, get into the right positions, that kind of stuff.
Different type of reload than we haven't seen, because he's sitting, he's low, and he's got the gun in against his shoulder, and he's loading into the port.
Just seems kind of an old school. They perhaps hadn't really thought about techniques to it. I don't know where he's getting the rounds from. He's just got a pocket full of them.
I guess maybe he has some loose. I think in the earlier scenes it shows them like kind of loading up for this kind of final stand, type of thing. But
I lean towards the fact that home defense wise, you're gonna have whatever ammo is in the gun or on the gun. So a lot of my reloading practice comes from that side saddle.
Yep.
But I have met some guys, former military guys, that talk about having the rounds on their kit, and a couple of them liked just having basically a dump pouch hanging off the front of their plate carrier with just loose rounds. Generally, the one guy that I'm thinking of, he was the breacher, and his job, the way that their team had it set up, is he would come up and breach the door, move past the door, and hold security down the hallway, while the rest of the team with rifles made entry into the room. So now he's holding security further down the hallway with his gun up and loading. He found it convenient to load from that loose dump pouch right on the front of his plate carrier, so he could still have his focus down the hallway, holding security for his team. So having just a pocket full of shells isn't just a fun catchphrase from a good song. Also can be pretty useful.
Especially since, again, early 60s, 70s, this was, before any type of tactical
Yeah.
vests, side saddles, anything. But again, you make the point of you're going to be fighting with what's in the gun or what's on you or on the gun. So
Yeah.
so I thought it was great handling, especially for its time period. So I'd give this 7, 8 at least.
I'd go with a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe even a 7.5. I'll give it an extra half a point just for using the Ithaca. I find it to be kind of a cool gun.
All right. And then last two, just because I'm a huge fan of the SPAS 12. Just 2 scenes from 2 movies. We don't even have to give them a rating. Just
It's such a unique gun.
because it's pump
It's
and it's
pump
semi-auto.
or semi, yeah. With the built-in folding stock. Very heavy. Very heavy gun. Big, bulky, heavy gun. But it's cool.
So a lot of people, when they initially saw this, I know they said, why is he bothering to unfold the telescoping or the folding stock and stuff? You can't use the sights with the stock on.
No sights with the stock on it.
Now the SPAS 12 that they're using in this scene does not have the folding stock. It's the fixed one.
And he's pumping.
And he's pumping.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. is the shotgun the one that gets like kicked up and
Up and
around the
over,
guy's shoulder and then let into him? Yeah. I mean, the way the chunks are coming flying off of those pillars, you'd think everybody was shooting a
Yep.
shotgun.
Okay, this is the scene that gets me every time. Look how calmly he's just shooting those rounds.
Yeah.
And I think she double racked it for no reason. But
As a gun guy, one of the greatest movie lines ever. Guns. More guns.
Yep.
Lots of guns.
Okay, so what do you need besides a miracle?
Guns. Lots of guns.
What do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
So anyway, 2 great movies that feature the SPAS 12. I like it. High marks. I'm not going to give it a number, but it is what it is. Butch, any final thoughts on shotguns in movies and TV and stuff?
Shotguns in movies, on TV, just like all the rest of them, come with a lot of overhype, a lot of mystery and theatrics to it. They make it fun. I enjoy seeing a shotgun, especially nowadays because rifles are so prevalent. To see a shotgun, just a little bit of something different. It's not quite the devastation that Hollywood wants to portray it as, but I do like the fact that they kind of amp it up for shotguns.
I was going to say, we didn't even look at any scenes where people are hit by a shotgun and they go rocketing into the next county.
Yeah.
And such. So, I mean, we might do that, but, these I tried to, keep at, hey, let's score above a 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So, cool. Guys, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you'd like us to watch and review next. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more content over here. Or there. There. Thanks, guys.